I've added an update button to my list here. So say an item like Borderlands 3, I can click update and it shows me all the data in this beautiful form, which we'll look at in a minute, thinking about how does this data get into the form. And I can change Borderlands 3 to Borderlands 6, submit that, and now we've got Borderlands 6. So let's go and have a look at the code that does it. Starting easy. So the update button is exactly the same as the delete button, but it says update. So it sends me to the update route and it's got the word update to click on. That's straightforward. Then when you go to this update route, I've tried to simplify this by splitting it into two routes, and I'll explain why I've done that. It's because of the extra complexity. I'll show you what's happening. So if I click on update here, this form has had to be pre-populated with the data from the database. So I've had to do a select query to select all, everything that matters with game ID 12. And then when I click the submit button, that any updated data needs to go back into the database. And if I try and do all of that in one route, it becomes a bit of a mess with the, if the request.form or request.method equals post and that kind of thing. There is a more complicated route, and it's just more likely to go wrong. So I've chosen to do it as two routes. Let's have a look at the first one. So the first one is this update form, and that gets the data according to that game ID. Select from Steam Data 2, where game ID equals whatever number I'd put in, whichever one I clicked on, I should say. And I'll do a fetch one, and I'll spit it out to the form update.html with that data here. So you see there's no if request.method equals post, because when I submit the form, let's go look at the form now. When I submit the form, I've got action equals perform update, and that means it goes to a different route. So when I click this submit button, it goes to this. And this also doesn't need an if request.method equals post, because we know we only get here if the submit button has been clicked. So I'm just trying to keep my code as simple as possible by having these two separate routes. So anyway, the form, that's the data that is being given. I've been lazy here. If I go back and look at the actual form itself, go Control U, what I could have done is have input type equals text name equals URL and then put the value in, and I could have exactly this form here. I couldn't be bothered typing all that lot in, so I slightly cunningly said this is basically for key value in that dictionary, which is the selected game. And then these two things, the field name is the key and the value is the value. And I've just looped through them to spit them out into the form. You don't have to do that. You never have to do that. You could just manually type all of that lot in and just have the manual value with the double curly bracket thing. Up to you. I don't mind. Anyway, so that basically populates the form with the values. Then we've got a submit button, and like I say, that goes to perform update. Let's go look at perform update. And this does an update query, update Steam data. And I've been lazy again because I've only bothered with these three fields, URL, name, and categories. But, you should do all of them, shouldn't you? But it won't be any different from this. It'll just be longer. And that update, execute, and don't forget the commit, because we're doing a change to the database. And that's all we need to do.